नमस्कार, मैं हूं हर्षवर्धन सिंह। आप देख रहे हैं एमएस टीवी। शो चल रहा है रूबरू। वक्त की थोड़ी कमी है, तेज़ी के साथ बोल रहा हूं। प्रेशर थोड़ा ज़्यादा है। प्रेशर का हो सकता है प्रभाव दिल पे पड़े और एक समय पे ऐसा हो कि शायद दिल की दिक्कतें होने लगे। एक्चुअल लिटरल बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम, मेडिकल इश्यूज, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट। एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस क्योंकि हो सकता है कि शायद वो 2-4 करोड़ जो लोग हैं हमारे यहाँ, मैं उनका हिस्सा हो जाऊँ जिन्हें ट्रीट करने के लिए 2000 सर्जन्स हैं। अब ये सारी चीज़ें दिल से जुड़ी हुई बातें मैं इसलिए कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज आई हैव अ वेरी लर्नड पर्सन फ्रॉम द सेम फील्ड, बट ही इज़ नॉट अ डॉक्टर, ही इज़ नॉट अ सर्जन। मगर हर बार आपको सर्जन नहीं होना होता ऑपरेशन करने के लिए। अब ये थोड़ा सुनने में और लगता है। यू नीड एन असिस्टेंस, यू नीड AI, यू नीड टूल्स दैट कैन एक्चुअली हेल्प यू विद द सर्जरी। और अगर आप वो भी कर रहे हैं तो यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द सर्जरी, नॉट एज अ सर्जन। मेरे साथ हैं डॉक्टर कार्तिक रमेश जी एंड CEO डेजिग्नेट एंड चीफ स्ट्रेटेजिक एडवाइज़र केसर HB। केसर HB की फुल फॉर्म वैसे मेरे सामने है कार्ड पर, मगर मैं नहीं उस चीज़ को बोलना चाहूँगा क्योंकि मैं शायद उसको एक्सप्लेन ना कर पाऊँ। तो CEO साहब के पास चलते हैं और समझते हैं कि क्या सारी चीज़ें हैं, बात करने की कोशिश करते हैं। हेलो एंड वेलकम।
थैंक यू हर्षवर्धन, गुड इवनिंग। सारे व्यूअर्स को मेरे नमस्ते एंड थैंक यू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपके चैनल को एंड ऑल्सो टू मारवा स्टूडियोज एंड स्पेशली डॉक्टर संदीप मारवा जी को हु हैज बीन काइंड इनफ टू इनवाइट मी ऑन दिस शो। केसर HB, लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दैट। ऑन पनिंग ऑन दैट वर्ड, केसर जो बोलते हैं हिंदी में स्पाइस है, जो लाल रंग का होता है, सैफरन बोलते हैं, हम मिठाई में यूज करते हैं। This is as precious as that.
Okay.
Because KESAR is Center for Academic Surgical Excellence and Research, Homograft Bank. बहुत बड़ा नाम है, इसको मैं आपको थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करता हूँ. This is an initiative or a project under the blessings and auspices of Indian Association of Cardiothoracic Surgeons, जो इंडिया के सबसे पुरानी हार्ट सर्जन्स की एसोसिएशन है.
Okay.
We are completing almost 70 years. And we have the legendary cardiac surgeons on our board, including the likes of Dr. K.M. Cherian of Madras Medical, Dr. Devi Shetty, Narayan Hridayalaya, and lot of Dr. Pashi from SIMS Hospital, Dr. C.S. Hiremath, who's the secretary of and who's the HOD of Sri Satyasai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Whitefield. तो ये एक एसोसिएशन है जिसका इनिशिएटिव केसर HB है.
Okay.
और इस जो आप बात कर रहे थे कि दिल के प्रॉब्लम की, and you made a very beautiful statement. आपने बोला कि he is not a surgeon, he is not a doctor, but he is associated with cardiac. The beauty behind that is हमारा मोटो ही यही है. You don't have to be a cardiac surgeon in केसर HB to make a million hearts beat. And अभी मैं इसके नाम पे जाता हूँ. Let us leave the center aside.
Right.
You look at it, academic,
Okay.
surgical excellence और research. अभी बहुत बड़ी समस्या है हमारे सामने. इंडिया में ऑलमोस्ट 4 करोड़ कार्डियक पेशेंट्स हैं.
Exactly.
अभी हमारे बातचीत में शायद 3 मिनट बीत गए, 3 या 4 मिनट बीत गए. हर एक मिनट में ऑलमोस्ट मिनिमम 3 से 4 लोगों को इंडिया में कोई ना कोई कार्डियक इशू हो रहा है.
जैसे कि
कार्डियक अरेस्ट, हार्ट अटैक, दे आर डिटेक्टेड विद सम ब्रेथलेसनेस एंड दे आर कोलैप्सिंग. सम यू आर सीइंग पीपल 20, 30, 40 में लोग मर रहे हैं. इन लोगों को आप छोड़ दीजिए, बच्चों को ले लीजिए. चिल्ड्रन आर बोर्न because of the bad habits of the parent, or the mother is not taking good care, और ऊपर वाला की ही डिजाइन है कि the child is born with this kind of a problem. So we are in a dire situation. और दुनिया भर में अगर हम देखें almost 17% cardiac issues इंडिया में ही है.
Okay. Any specific reason for that?
The reasons are many. Again, going back to lifestyle, the kind of food we eat. If you see southern India, I come from the south. We eat more of
Southern
rice,
part of India, right?
We prefer spicy, hot, sweet. अभी दिवाली का टाइम है.
You're keeping Andhra in the center of this whole conversation, right?
Yeah, Andhra, चेन्नई कहाँ पे भी जाओ. If you go to Bangalore, it's not a specific cuisine I'm talking about. पर हमारे habits ही ऐसे हो गए. And जैसे आप बोले, you are starting with a beautiful thing कि आप बोल कि दिल की धड़कन बढ़ रही है. We are always on the edge of everything. Life is moving so fast, right? अभी मैं इंटरव्यू में बैठा हूँ, मेरी दिमाग ये सोच रहा है कि मुझे फ्लाइट पकड़ना है. वी आर ऑलवेज थिंकिंग ऑफ द नेक्स्ट थिंग, राइट? वी आर नॉट रिलैक्सिंग. जो माइंडफुलनेस है, हम द मोर इम्पोर्टेंट रीजन इज स्लीप. कितने लोगों को जो व्यू कर रहे हैं, आप अपने खुद को आप पूछ के देखिए आईने में कि आप कितने घंटे सो रहे हैं.
और या फिर इंटरव्यू किस टाइम पे देख रहे हैं, रात को 3 बजे देख रहे हैं आप या किस टाइम देख रहे हैं?
करेक्ट. और अभी मोबाइल फोन का ये जमाना हो, सब कुछ मोबाइल फोन में हो रहा है.
स्लीप साइकिल एकदम खराब हो
चुकी है. स्लीप साइकिल and that light, that radiant light which comes and we of course we say I can put blue filters and all that, but mind filter तो हम नहीं लगा रहे ना.
Right.
So all this is increasing the stress factor. So one of the
Right.
biggest reasons for cardiac issues is not only lifestyle and lack of exercise, it's also the stress level. And हम सब एक rat race पे जुड़े हैं. Now I have come out of that rat race after last 25 years working in the likes of companies of Infosys, Standard Chartered Bank, and I'm a person who has moved. मेरा transition हुआ है IT, banking, consulting to healthcare last 7 years.
Okay.
और अभी केसर HB जो है, I want to just tell all our viewers, first time we are doing this interview, once again grateful to Marva Studios for giving us this opportunity. We are the world's first completely free homographed heart valve bank. And I was telling you, Center for Academic Surgical Excellence and Research. Academic इसीलिए क्योंकि अभी वन साइड 4 करोड़ पेशेंट्स हैं,
ठीक है।
पर हमारे सिर्फ 2000 सर्जन्स हैं। सर्जन्स कम क्यों हैं, ये तो आप पूछ सकते हैं। रीजन दे आर बिकॉज नोबडी वांट्स टू बी अ कार्डियक सर्जन।
Okay.
अभी आप अगले सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, व्हाई यू डोंट वांट टू बी अ कार्डियक सर्जन? बिकॉज यू
I'll sit
कांट
back like this. Go ahead.
इट इज ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट इट टेक्स टाइम, जर्नी है।
मेरा सवाल उसके अलावा ये भी है कि जो आपने बोला कि डूइंग इट फॉर फ्री, राइट? हम फ्री जब करते हैं तो हो सकता है कि शायद जो एक नंबर है कम हो जाए, वी माइट बी एबल टू गेट इट स्मॉलर सेक्शन, एक थोड़ा छोटा एरिया हो। अगर हम उसको सब्सिडाइज कर दे तो हो सकता है कि ज़्यादा लोग बढ़ सकते हैं, उसमें
Correct.
ज़्यादा आ सकते हैं।
करेक्ट। फ्री हम इसीलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि अभी अमेरिका में एक हार्ट वॉल, क्या हम फ्री में दे रहे हैं? लेट्स ऑल्सो उस पर थोड़ा डबल क्लिक
ठीक
करते
है।
हैं। एक हर एक के इंसान के दिल में 2 वॉल्व्स होते हैं जो ब्लॉक, समटाइम्स यू नो यू हैव ऑल दीज प्रॉब्लम्स वेयर यू गेट इनटू एंजियोग्राम्स, इट इज कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, यू गेट इनटू सर्जरीज। अभी वी आर लिविंग इन अ एरा वेयर दिस रूमेटिक हार्ट डिजीज which is going and biting and literally eating the heart. Some alien protein is coming from infection across the bones and it is reaching the heart.
Okay.
We don't have a vaccine for that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we are in a dire situation, right? तो इस वॉल्व की जो महत्वता है, the importance is very very important. You have synthetic even made in India valves today.
Okay.
But a human valve is the best because it's God's creation, right? Or you want to call it nature, whatever. Life expectancy is more. And especially जो बच्चे हैं जो पैदा होते हैं with this kind of a problem, उनको अगर हम होमोग्राफ वॉल्व दें, their life is enhanced, their life
Right.
expectancy is enhanced.
वो एडेप्ट भी अच्छे से कर पाएंगे उस चीज़ को।
Correct. But ये एक business बन गया, right? There's nothing wrong in this. Let me also say to all the doctors, and I have been in the healthcare industry, मेरी जो तनख्वाह आ रही थी वो
वहीं से आ
healthcare
रही थी।
industry से आ रही थी,
वहीं से आ रही थी, right.
Doctors are like gods because they are saving a life. जब ये लाइट यहाँ पे चल रहा है, अगर ये फ्यूज चला जाए, हम इलेक्ट्रिशियन को पैसा देते हैं। OTT, ये यूट्यूब चल रहा है, नेटवर्क नहीं चलता तो हम उसके लिए पैसे, कोई हमारी जिंदगी बचा रहे, हम उसको पैसे क्यों ना दें? There is nothing wrong in this. But the problem is when it gets commercialized and when there is a scarcity, then the demand is high. Economics का principle है कि प्राइस भी
डिमांड
बढ़
एंड
जाता
सप्लाई,
है।
राइट?
So we want to disrupt this. We want to create a social awareness initiative. First of all, prevention is better than cure.
Right.
And we need good surgeons. So the academic part of KSAR HB is to train budding surgeons who want to take cardiovascular thoracic surgery as a field to get into the field. So KSAR HB में हम ऐसे facilities बना रहे हैं, infrastructure बना रहे हैं, where people will get trained with the latest and greatest technologies.
I have another question.
Right.
That might sound a bit odd, but yeah, I need to just understand it, and you'll be able to gravity of it.
Right.
Why cardiac problems? Why not cancer? Why not any other things? Because the numbers, if we talk about, the cancer number is way too high as compared to the cardiac problems. Cardiac is a different thing because okay, people are living with it. Cancer is something that at some point of time going to take you back if it is not treated or metastasis में पहुंच चुका है तो.
So personally, let me break up this question into from an association perspective. Of course, this is a cardiovascular thoracic. तो ये हमारा field है. तो हम कैंसर में नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम cardiovascular thoracic
Okay,
से जुड़ा
understood.
ये कर रहे हैं. दूसरी बात ये कि India is the world leader in heart disease. We have
Okay.
60% of the world's heart disease in India. And एक side I've also given you the statistics, right?
Understood.
And you look at the number of children. You have millions of children who are born with this. They don't have good surgeons to operate on them.
Right.
And
Scarcity
NEET
of it.
exam जो लोग लेते हैं, I'm sure a lot of students, medical prospective students are looking at this video. NEET seats are going vacant for cardiac surgery. It's
Because
a
it takes
journey.
time. Right.
Matrimonial problem है, क्योंकि cardiac surgeon जो है, he spends 18 hours. All of my I am here in the studio today because I'm not a surgeon. I'm associated with this, but I'm not. My seniors and the esteemed executive committee I report to, they are the leading cardiac surgeons who spend minimum 16 to 18 hours every day in the hospital.
Okay.
और एक दिन में आप गेस लीजिए. Now let me for a change ask, how many cardiac surgeries do you think in a good hospital in Bangalore does per day?
If you will ask me, I have no idea about it. I think
Just take a guess.
3 or 4.
No, we do 20 to 25 in a good hospital in Bangalore.
20 to 25 per day.
Yes. And if you take, for example, free charitable hospitals like the Satya Sai Hospital, which does free cardiac surgeries, they do 7 to 8 free per day.
7 to 8 free per day.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't charge money for that. The others charge. There are subsidized models like Narayan Hriday and all of them. I'm not getting into them. मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि that is the kind of situation we are living in. Yes, cancer is prevalent. And no denying that. And I also, on the other side, outside the association, for example, I have couple of entities I'm invested in personally where I'm helping to use AI/ML to do early detection of cancer. In cancer, prevention is better than cure. Right? Because the cure chances of saving is lesser. While technology is advancing, you can do chemo, and now you can do without chemo, pill-based and all that. Compared to cancer, cardiac is more preventable and it is more pervasive, more prevalent. So इस issue को हमें solve करना because there's a shortage. You look at the number of oncologists, and you don't need so many years to become an oncologist. Right. I have friends, like I'm an alumnus of many of the IITs. I am also alumnus of IISc Bank. I have people from IISc Bangalore who are sitting not as oncologists, but they're sitting managing oncology institutions, right? But cardiac surgery is very specialized. Right. You need to invest the time and resources. Just for that particular thing. And that is where surgical excellence comes. We want to create an ecosystem जहाँ पे सबसे बढ़िया cardiac surgeons बने India में. And the third thing is research. I'm guessing you are in the 30s and I'm in the 40s, right? So if I ask a question again to you, how many deaths of cardiac related deaths happen in the age group of 30 to 40? Can you take a guess? In India?
I have no idea about that.
That is the right answer. We don't have an idea about it. Even if you ask me or you ask a good cardiac surgeon, you can't precisely say. यही question अगर हम अमेरिका या यूरोप में पूछे, we have answer. You know why? Because the medical standards are based on the American, European standards. Even people studying in India, we look up to that. But we have not built sufficient research, especially in cardiovascular thoracic. Right. We are doing very complex cases. However, we are not documenting it enough. We are not doing data analysis. Okay. Today, हमारे पास tools हैं. Like for example, I'm an expert in AI/ML analytics. You give me the data of any disease, not only I can give you beautiful insights. But are surgeons spending that time? Do they have the time? Not that they don't want to come out of the surgery. Imagine coming out after 16-18 hours. I tell you to fill a form or type into a system. You will feel so tired. They're still doing it, but we're not doing it the rate जहाँ पे research बढ़ सके. Okay. So that is where Kesar HP, academic, surgical excellence, research. Now the last part is the homograph bank. इसके लिए हम क्या करते हैं? See, God has given 180 seconds, so 3 minutes. Somebody has a cardiac arrest, you can resurrect them by doing the CPR. Right? Recently on World Heart Foundation Day, we did the CPR trainings, not only through the association. So many people did that. Right. But let's say, इसी studios में, God forbid किसी को कुछ cardiac arrest. How many of us know what to do? How to do like proper CPR? हमें पता नहीं, right? We are going to provide CPR training also free. Okay. CPR training, it may sound odd to you, costs anywhere between 15 to 20,000 rupees as a cost of training. And that's why the training is not perfect. You will see those defibrillators, you'll see those AED machines hanging in many places. Do people know कि उसको लेके क्या करना है? Right. Just it's not a wall piece, right? But this is the situation we are in. Now, coming to homograph bank, as I said, there are synthetic walls. There's some great cardiologists, great cardiac surgeons the country has produced. I need to understand homograph first, if you can explain it for our viewers. So let me break it up. Science में हम बोलते हैं Homo sapiens. Homo means human. Graft means that organ you're moving from one human to the other. So this is homograft heart wall. Okay. So every heart has 2 valves, right? So a healthy human being, if he can salvage the heart, if he is consented to donate it after death, we can take it within 4 to 8 hours of his death, preferably within 4 hours. Okay. Right? So we have a team in Kesar HP also. We are going to set up who will go and take with the consent that heart. Now, you can't keep it at room temperature. It will decay. So isko we have to preserve at minus 192 degrees. If you take bone cartilage or other parts, you can do with minus 40, minus 50 degrees. इसके लिए एक special equipment चाहिए. Okay. That equipment itself costs in crores, which will preserve this for 5 years. So imagine it like a deep freezer in liquid nitrogen. You put 2 valves and you can keep it. Our mission is दुनिया में कहीं पे भी, starting with India and maybe the local states, starting with Karnataka itself and neighboring states, किसी को भी अगर एक heart valve की ज़रूरत है, we should be able to ship it. Now, okay. Normal, आपको मैं statistic बता रहा हूँ, in a normal metro or city, a requirement may be 50 to 100 easily right? Homographs per day. It means, I mean, I'm giving you a very inaccurate statistic, but I'm just saying that the demand is very high. पर लोग donate नहीं कर रहे हैं. अगर donate करना भी चाहते हैं, हमारे पास homograph store करने की facility नहीं. So question is, do we have homograph bank? Yes, we have 7 homograph banks. But in India, a heart valve costs 50,000 rupees.
Okay.
We want to give it free. यही आप US में लेंगे या ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, it will cost anywhere between 4 to 6 lakhs per valve.
Why is it so? I mean, I need a little bit more elaboration about this, because if there are people out there, those who want to donate it under the heart valve voluntarily, so do we have a shortage of the preserving techniques and all? I mean, what's the reason?
It's a combination of factors, I will say. Even those machines have to come from abroad. We don't manufacture those machines here, right?
Okay.
Number 2 is the awareness.
Okay.
Right? And there is also a little bit of a sentimental aspect associated based on religious or cultural beliefs.
Right, exactly.
But the beauty of the heart is when you salvage the valve, the heart is intact. You're not removing, like you take a kidney or a liver, you're taking the organ out.
Right.
Here the organ remains. And some beliefs may be there that I should burn or cremate my body or bury my body as is. So in India, but there are some governments, especially if you look at Tamil Nadu government, they are giving state honors to organ donors.
Right.
Which is a great move. So it is a combination of one, socio-economic factors that people aware that they should contribute. Second, cultural beliefs should be broken.
Right.
Third, government support is required to evangelize this. Now, our Honorable Prime Minister, August 1st to 15th, he planned this organ donation week, right? Which is creating that awareness. I think we need to do this. Scale
I think we need a collective effort for this.
Collective call to action की जरूरत है. And बहुत लोगों को ये पता नहीं, हम when I say cardiac, right? You think of cardiology, you think of angiogram, you think of removing blocks. But lot of people also need surgeries, especially जब age advance हो जाता है. And why a homographed heart valve bank? Why not a synthetic valve? Life expectancy is more because tissue to tissue this
right.
And today there is more, I would say, support हमें जो मिल रहा है ecosystem से in terms of organ donation, getting the transplant certificate. ये सब simplify हुआ है from the, and really thank the government and the regulations around it. But common man को क्या ये understanding है? मुझे खुद नहीं था. Let me be very frank. 3 to 6 months back, जब मैं initiative में नहीं था, मुझे खुद इस बात की awareness. Whenever somebody said cardiac, I thought arrest, heart attack, angio. But now I know the importance of one heart valve. Right. And that can save a life of a child. If a child, it can extend the life 15-20 years. And if it is a human, maybe at least 10 years, right? And works reliably, right? So that is where we are. And we are doing it in Bangalore because Bangalore, we have Nimhans, we have certain institutions which now have some deaths happening who will donate their valves naturally. A good ecosystem is there.
But are they, because we have a very limited time right now, I just need to know one more thing, that if this person out there motivated enough that, okay, they will go for this particular thing, for the donation part, and as well at the same time, they have someone they need the help for. What are the ways with which they can connect with you, with the organization, how exactly they can be a part of this whole mission?
Definitely. Thank you for that question. So our parent website, the Indian Association of Cardiothoracic Surgeons, is iacts.org.
Okay.
And for this initiative specifically, we have caserhomograph.org.
Okay.
That is CASER HOMOGRAFT.org. So anybody interested, you can go there. We have a simple contact form. You want to contribute, you want to be part of this, thought leadership, technology, you're a doctor or a cardiologist, a cardiac surgeon, more than welcome. More than anything, आपको एक ambassador बनाना है. We'll be very happy. We have met several celebrities. Today I met a very famous cricketer in the morning. I met Dr. Kiran Bedi 2 months back. We're getting a lot of support for this in terms of principle. So हमें और ambassadors की ज़रूरत है because as you said, it's a collective call to action. ये एक इंसान नहीं कर सकता. And even the Caser Homograph is coming up in phases. While this project is going to be constructed near Bangalore Airport, ये 6 acre land पे आ रहा है at a cost of almost 350 crores.
Okay.
Completely free. हम पैसे नहीं लेने वाले, but corporate social responsibility is the funds we are relying on. So if anybody is interested, they can contact us again. But more importantly, till this comes, like a startup, we are going to bootstrap this with a homograph bank in MS Ramaya Institute in Bangalore. And this is going to come up, if it's under discussion in our association, maybe in the next 1 or 2 months. Hopefully this will go live and we will at least start collecting the heart valve because that is a core part of the overall center we are building.
Right.
The center caters, as I said, to training, surgical excellence, simulation based.
Do we have a pan-India plan as well for the future?
Yes. So one of the reasons I am in Delhi is because I was with AIIMS Delhi even last week and this week. We're discussing with the NOTO office here. That's a
Okay.
National Organ Transplant Office. We are trying to synergize this. As you rightly asked, Harsh, this cannot be a one-off initiative. इसका जैसे हम बोलते हैं hub and scope model होना चाहिए. The hub is at Karnataka. The spokes can be anywhere.
Right.
In fact, just adding a little bit detail to that answer, we are even working with the government of Sri Lanka. We are talking to nearby countries. There are even advanced countries like UAE government has shown interest in supporting our initiative.
Okay.
We also want to take it to the underserved nations, let's say of Bangladesh, of Nepal. There are a lot of neighboring countries which are below India's poverty line, which need that support. But उनके पास infrastructure भी नहीं. Maybe they have good cardiologists, they don't have good surgeons.
Right.
So we plan to fly them to our center, train them, like Sri Lanka आपको ले
And again, that too is like entirely free? Or we're
so
going
that
to charge
will be at a
something?
subsidized cost because we also have to keep the lights running.
Exactly.
But we in principle we want to keep the heart valve for free, which is the more important part of this initiative.
Right.
For example, in Sri Lanka, if I take medical education is free. You can become a doctor for free, but you cannot become a good cardiac surgeon if you don't have the right training and exposure. And today, to become a good cardiac surgeon, you have to spend 10 to 12 years in the theater as an assistant to a senior card. Now, let me give a fictitious situation. Let's assume that you are my parent or sibling, and I get admitted for some cardiac procedure. As my relative, you'll first say that मुझे एक senior cardiac surgeon चाहिए. Suppose I bring somebody like you and me, young person, you will not have the confidence.
Exactly.
Whether I will be alive or not. Right? So we have to break this myth that can happen only through very good training. Now that doesn't mean there aren't good young. I have seen like in AIIMS Delhi, in Fortis, so many hospitals.
There is no stereotypical thing, no. There is no monotony. वो कोई भी कुछ भी कैसा हो सकता है. आप age के according चीजों को नहीं समझ सकते. It's about the training.
Right. And see, it takes time to become a good. It's not an easy field. Like I was asked recently, IAS officer you can become 4-5 years up exam clear करके. Cardiac surgeon you cannot just become because you have done your MBBS, MD and done a few. You have to do it right first time, every time, because only one chance. Unlike kidney or other organs, scope of error, margin of error is very less. So there is a dire need to create an ecosystem of young cardiac surgeons, जिनके साथ हम इस mission को बढ़ा सकते हैं. We can collect and harvest the right homograph balls of good quality, and we can provide it for free for the service of the nation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karthik, for all the insight and each and every information that you just shared. And I think that's a really important thing. It's a need of the hour, because the way you just given this whole statistics about the cardiac problems with the ratio of the doctors that we have, the surgeons we have, we do need an organization like this, at least just for the very beginning, just for the understanding purpose. People need to understand the value of it and how exactly they can approach. Later than being a part of it, being an ambassador, donating it, or like taking the best out of it, that's a different thing. But primarily they need to understand it. So at least we might have a data to talk about in a substantial way. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Dr. Karthik, for giving the time.
Thank you so much once again to Marva Studios and Dr. Sandeep Marva. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is all mine. तो जैसे डॉक्टर कार्तिक पूरा इंटरव्यू आपने सुना, मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि इसके अंत में डिस्क्रिप्शन जिसे हम कहते हैं उसमें डिटेल्स डाल दूं, जो वेबसाइट्स के बारे में बात हुई है, जाके देखिए. दिल की बीमारियां जो हैं, खासकर मेरी और आपकी उम्र में, ये एक आम धारणा है. डॉक्टर नहीं हूं मैं, जो ज्ञान बाहर से अर्जित किया है उसी के हिसाब से फैटल होता है. इस उम्र में अगर आपको हार्ट अटैक है तो वो आमतौर पर सर्वाइव नहीं करते हैं. एक उम्र के बाद 60 और उसमें थोड़ा सर्वाइवल का रेट बढ़ जाता है, मगर इसमें नहीं. और हो भी अब इन्हीं में ज़्यादा रहा है क्योंकि स्ट्रेस बहुत ज़्यादा है. जैसा कि अब इंटरव्यू में भी बात कर रहे थे, शायद 3 बजे आप इसको देख रहे हैं और सुबह 6 बजे फिर आपको निकलना हो कहीं रिपोर्ट देने के लिए. सो द होल आइडिया इज जस्ट टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ, एंड एट द सेम टाइम इफ यू कैन टेक केयर ऑफ समवन एल्स आउट देयर, प्लीज़ गो ahead for that. We have the entire link in the description. Go ahead and check that. And I hope your one click might keep another heart beating. Thank you so much for watching the whole interview. I'll be back with some another guest. Till then, stay happy and keep watching MS TV.